So welcome back to Texas Travelers. We're starting today on the Midwest AeroStar 60. The instruction book says that we're going to start off with the tail sections. Right now I have the horizontal stabilizer up on the board, and there's not much to this. That's why these trainers go so fast. It's solid 3/8 balsa. Normally I would use tight bond glue on this, but I am so behind that we're going to go ahead and use CA to do this. And I know that it's going to leave hard spots that are not the easiest thing in the world to sand, but that's just the way it is. The weather is beautiful outside, and I'm ready to get out to the flying field. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take one side and I'm going to go from this side so I stay out of your view, and that's probably not good. If you can find one of these, I think Midwest made them. It's a hobby craft square. These things are great. They have notches so you can tell the thickness of the material you're using, hole guides, angles. Of course it's a square, and we're going to work from one side of this because these pieces, although they were cut at the factory, they will not be absolutely perfect in length. I'd rather have one end that is good lengthwise, so I don't have to true it up and then just true up the other end. So we're going to start there. I'm going to go ahead and take 3 T-pins. I can get this thing open. It's an Amazon special right there, so I think everybody kind of knows how those are. But I'm going to, I have gone ahead and cut out sections of the plans. I have those taped down with just painter's tape to my building board that I made in the next to last episode, and then I put just plain wax paper over the top of it. You can see it. It helps protect the plans. It keeps things from sticking to the plans. But I will say one thing, that you want to keep these T-pins away from where glue is going to go, or you'll wind up getting these T-pins when you're using like a thin CA. You wind up getting these T-pins stuck in the wood, and they are a bear to get out. We're going to go ahead and line that up with the drawing. Just put a T-pin right in there. There we go. That one's in. I'm going to come to the center of it right here. Do the same. Make sure that I'm kind of covering that line, just barely covering that line. I'm going to put that in the middle right there and hold it down. I've got some 321 machinist blocks over here. They make great weights. I'm going to use those to weight this down, even though I got pins in it, just to make sure I don't get any bows or anything like that in it. So there we go. So we got that. And I don't know if I need to show all of this, but I'm just going to keep walking down, keeping one end together square. I'm going to run a thin bead of thick CA down this. I'm using thick CA because it's not going to dry as fast, and if there's any gaps or anything in there, it will help fill that. I haven't pre-sanded these. They may have some gaps and things of that nature, so I'll make sure that I kind of suck that up by using the T-pins and the glue to kind of do that. Anyway, it's gonna walk straight down like that, and we're just gonna glue all this together. See, like this one, we've got, I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but there's a significant gap there. And believe it or not, I'm going to try to cheat this. Yep, the other side's a lot flatter. I'm going to go in with the other side, and then when we do our the instructions also say that once you get this assembled, to go ahead and sand it. I hate sanding one part at a time, unless I'm using wood glue or something like that. I'm really taking my time. Since this is a trainer and I'm not really worried that much about, I mean, I want it to look nice, but I'm not worried that it's just going to be immaculate. I'm probably going to leave all my sanding to the last thing that I do, and that way I can just have kind of a sanding party and take care of it that way. Anyway, I'm going to glue these all together, and then I'll get back with you and show you how that's going to look. As you can see, I have it all laid out on the board. This is all glued up now. This was super simple to do this part of it. It probably took me 2 minutes to glue all this up. I will give you, if this is your first time using CA, I'm using Star Bond. Bob Smith CA is good too. I'm using the thick for this. But when you get finished using it, you'll make these tips last a lot longer if you'll make sure that you squeeze it till you can hear air going back in there. And then always, when you get finished with it, you might want to wipe down the tip just a little bit to get any trash or anything there. Looks like there's a little bit of stuff that accumulated up there. And just quick, don't hold this paper on there; it won't come off. Squeeze it a few times, get this cap till it snaps back on. Like I said earlier, we were going to true up one end to start with. I know in the camera you probably can't see this, but both of these pieces of balsa is significantly longer than the trailing edge, and there's going to be those blocks glued to the end. Maybe you could see that better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this just a little bit longer for the CA to harden. This thick CA, it does take some time for it to set up, so I'm going to give it some time to set up. I'm going to pull this off the board, and I'm probably just going to use it's really too thin to use a saw. I mean, I could, but it wouldn't be as nice. I'm just going to sand that down and true all that end up. I'm back, and while I was waiting for this to set up, I was thinking about it some, and instead of sanding this, and since we're going to be gluing a block down to the end of it, that we can cover up some gaps if we have any, I'm going to use my hobby knife, and I want to talk about hobby knives right quick. This is a X-Acto. It is made by X-Acto. You don't have to get one like this, but I highly suggest finding a hobby knife or X-Acto knife that has flat spots put on it. A lot of these cheap ones you buy, and this wasn't expensive. I think it was like $8 or something like that. They will roll off a table, and if you want to talk about milliseconds of sheer terror, watching that thing go down towards your foot point first. I've had it happen to me several times until I got a hobby knife that's a little bit harder to roll. It will stop itself instead of just rolling off the table and then becoming a dart. Anyway, I've just got my my hobby square here, and I'm going to line this up down here, and then I'm just going to come along and I'm just going to softly, I'm not going to try to pass through in one pass. I'm just going to start making passes, trying to keep that knife blade nice and level. Just keep making passes, and eventually we'll get down to the bottom of this. There's glue in there, so that kind of makes a few hard spots in there. I got one right here that's really being a bear. I hope my big head's not sticking in front of that camera. I'm not a professional cameraman. I will be trying to get better, but right now I'm doing the best I can. Oh man, best I can with what I have. Yeah, try not to cut your hobby square. Anyway, you see this now. Now, what I'll do is, I've just got a little, now what I'll do is, I got a little cheap Amazon sander. It is a little soft, but it's not real soft. It comes with like Velcro on hook and loop sanding pads, and I really like it. I'm just going to touch this up just a little bit. Not pushing down on it, just trying to stay square and squaring that up. It's much better. And it was quicker than me going and sanding all that together. That would have been that was much quicker than me going and sanding that down, trying to get it all perfect sanded down. Like I said, I'm doing this on the quick. It is a trainer. It's not a scale plane. It's not something that I'm resting my building chops on. We're going to go ahead and pin this back to the board. Try to line it back up with where we had things. We don't need to use this many pins now. I'm just going to use 3 to kind of hold this thing down and in position. Go this end first. Got the other end. Now I'm going to try to get this end. Just going to pin that down. I'm going to pin down the middle right here. Just 3 pins. Not looking to get too out of whack. And just like I glued on, so just like I glued together these sheets showing you earlier, all I'm going to do is I'm going to just glue those on, pin them down, and other than having to do a little bit of shaping when we get to the sanding part, it will be done. We can set it aside, and then we'll move on to the vertical stabilizer, which I've got set up on the bench. We're done with the horizontal stabilizer. Like I said earlier, I'm going to put this to the side and wait till we get to the end and have a big sanding party for everything that needs sanded. But this 3/8 inch balsa, it goes together pretty good. So we're going to put that to the side, and right now I've got up on the board the vertical stabilizer. I like to pre-fit these just to make sure that everything's going to go together nice. There's really not, as you can see, there's really not much to it. It's the same as the horizontal stabilizer. It's just 3/8 inch balsa. I'm going to start at the back and just glue my way forward. And I really don't think you guys need to see me do all this. It does say to use slow CA, which I mean, people talk about thin, medium, and thick CA. Thin CA is your fast. Your medium's kind of in the medium, and then your thick CA is your slowest CA. So I'm going to use my thick CA. I'm going to glue all this together right here, and once it dries, I'll come back and show you the results. Alright, so this was super easy. And it's just gluing together these 3/8 inch pieces of balsa. Just used just a little bead of thick CA. And we could set this aside with the horizontal stabilizer, and we can get to work on something fun that'll actually start to make this thing look like an airplane.